Hello my friends, welcome to this video in which I will show you how I created a workflow that basically lets you to extract all the news information from a blog from a person, for example. Like for example from this one, it has all the different posts that a person has made, but the problem with these pages is that sometimes the people that make these websites create custom websites, so these sort of pages or blogs doesn't have an RSS direction, which we can basically extract the information from the blog post, so we have to do it manually. Another thing is that you can do this type of operation with some applications, right, like the one you see here. The problem with these services is that they have a cost. For example, the basic cost monthly, it has a monthly payment fee, which is $10. If you want to extract more information, you should pay $20. So I thought, and I get the conclusion that I can do this with Pabbly Connect. So basically, this is the workflow that I'm going to show you how I created it. The thing that you have to understand is that this workflow can be basically redesigned or can be restructured so that it fits with your particular needs. You can add, for example, a different database. You can add other type of parameters you want to extract additional information from the site. But I will show you the basic workflow. Basically, the trigger that I use is a webhook by Pabbly, but you can change this initial trigger with any trigger that are available as part of the platform. You can, for example, execute this task every day or every month. I don't know. You can set it as you want. The next thing that you have to do is, well, what I'm doing here is basically I'm extracting the URL of the website from which I want to extract the information, which in this case is chrissainty.com, but you can do this basically with every website that you want. That is to set the website and that we have available the information from the webhook. You can see that as part of the webhook, I am receiving basically a response, for example, the website, and the value is the one that you can see here. So when you make the petition to the service, to the webhook, you basically pass the URL of the website, and basically that is the way in which this workflow starts. Then you can see that basically I extract this value. If I test this request, you can see that the result is the website. After that, basically what I do is I'm using a service named, you can see here, the name is Gina.ai. This site basically lets you to extract all the information in a markdown format from a specific website. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking the website, the main URL website, and I'm extracting the markdown from this website. I use a bearer token to authenticate on the service. I specify that I want to use an X return format, which basically is markdown, so that we can receive the information in a markdown format. After that, which this node is basically extracting the information from this particular website. After that, I'm using OpenAI service. I use the model GPT-4o mini, and you can see that the message is a little long prompt, because basically I am defining here the system role of this particular service, which basically I'm saying here that it has to extract all the URLs from this website, and even I specify an schema so that I have or the service return the information as I want to receive it, so that I have a constant format from every website that I query. And you can see that I passed the markdown format, the markdown information to this node, to this particular step. And after we process this node, we basically receive a JSON response. Okay, let me show you here. Okay, here we have it. We have the message content. You can see that this is a well formatted JSON output. Is a JSON object. Basically, we are having all the different information. For example, the post title, the post date, and the post URL. But you can extract any information you want using this particular approach. After that, since I want to remove this first JSON and the second set of different quotes that are part of this output, I'm going to use a text formatter. So basically, I'm replacing the text. I don't know if there is a better way to do this. If you know about this, please leave me in the comments how I can achieve this without wasting more steps. So in this particular case, the action event is replace text. I'm using here this step in which basically I set the text that I received from the OpenAI service, and I find this particular string, text string, and I replace with a blank text, which basically is going to eliminate or replace or remove this string from the previous step. After that, I use another replace text step because I want to remove the second section, the final section of the markdown that basically encapsulates the JSON object. And with that, if we try this, we can see that the result is a valid JSON object. Okay, here it is. After that, we are obtaining this particular set of different results. I'm using an iterator to iterate basically the array of different objects. Let me show you here. Okay, it is loading. Okay, we have here. We are using the iterator in Pabbly, and the action event is process arise. And basically, what I'm doing here is I am saying that I want to iterate through every object. This node retrieves or basically shows us the first result. You can see the important note here that it's saying that we are obtaining the first node to be shown as part of this particular step, but we are going to iterate over the different objects in the JSON object. So we are seeing here that we have the post title, post date, post URL, and with this basically we are doing some sort of loop operation so that we can process every node or every object in the array. After that, what we are doing here is executing an API request, and this is because what I'm going to do is read again this particular the particular URL of each of the posts articles. And this is because I want to obtain the information, the main content of the post. So I'm using again Gina AI to do that. And you can see that we are passing the URL. In this case, it is every post that we obtain from the main page of the author. And with that, you can see that if we try this, we query the service and we get all this information. The most important is basically the data content, that basically is all the information from the blog post. Okay, we have other information like the data title, data description, data URL, etc. After I have all the information or all the content of every post, basically what I'm doing here is using OpenAI to create a piece of content for a newsletter. You can do whatever you want. You can generate a new image, for example, for this post. You can generate an audio file using Whisper, for example, or any other service you want to use. You can do that. In my particular case, as I am thinking to make a newsletter using all this information, basically what I'm doing here is taking the output from the previous node, which is all the content of the blog post, and I am using OpenAI using this particular prompt, which is you're an expert in creating newsletter news sections. You should write a one paragraph description for the text as if it is included in a one paragraph newsletter section with a dynamic and funny tone. And the text is the output from the previous step, which is the data content. And if we execute this, we are going to receive basically a little paragraph that we can include as part of a newsletter so that we can create a newsletter from different websites, for example. So here is the response. You can see that here we have the message content. Okay, and then finally what I'm doing here is using Airtable to basically create a record for this particular page and for every page that we get from the website, from the general website. So in this particular case, I'm creating a record. The base name is newsletter, table name is newsletter data, and we fill all the content to Airtable. So that is to say, I am basically filling all the information for this table. Let me show you the table from Airtable. Let me open this on a separate window. Let me give me a few seconds. I think I have here. Just give me a few seconds. I'm going to show you in a moment. Here we go. Okay, this is my table. I'm going to delete all the information from this table. Okay, and basically what I'm doing here is I'm creating a newsletter data table. I have here the post title, the post content, the post URL, the newsletter content. That basically are the different columns for filling my information in my table. And these are different data or content that we are going to fill with this information. I'm going to extract the post title, the post content, the post URL, and the newsletter content, which is the generated content from the OpenAI node. And basically, this is our main workflow, which is going to extract all the information from the website. This is on. This particular workflow is on, so we can go to Postman, for example. Here we have it. We use the workflow that Pabbly gave to us, and basically I am using a raw content with a JSON format so that we can enter the website and the website from which we want to extract the information. So I'm going to send this request. You can see that the status is success and the message is response accepted. So it started the workflow, and basically what it is doing basically is extracting all the information from the website. It is iterating through every one of the blog posts and extracting the information to create or generate the newsletter content that I can use later for creating a newsletter. The great advantage of this is that you can specify all the different websites that you want, and you can extend this by, for example, creating a table from which you can take different URLs and basically query every one of the websites in your Excel or your Airtable table, and start this workflow for every one of the different websites that you have on a table. So if we return to the table, you can see that this starts generating all the information. You can see the post title, the post content, the post URL, and the newsletter content. And as I said you before, this is really useful because you can take all this information to create or generate a newsletter based on the last information from a particular website. And even you can extend this workflow by including, for example, YouTube links, Twitter mentions, or Twitter posts. You can add all the information, all the sources that you want. You can modify this workflow as you want. And I think that Pabbly is a great tool for doing this sort of automations that help you to extract content, to process content, to make a lot of things. I hope this video is useful to you, that it gives you some additional ideas to perform different operations with Pabbly. And have a nice day, and see you in the next video.